Today's collectible spot, we're having a look at the Kre-o Transformer Kreon Micro Changers. You get 2 in 1 because you get 2 modes in one pack. Not only do you get a robot, but you also get an alt mode. There are 6 to collect preview series. Now, Spot picked this up on eBay because sadly these are still not available in Canada, at least around my area. These aren't around. I ended up having to pick them up on eBay, and from what the seller had described to me, this is the complete set. The complete set also indicated down below by the serial number. The serial number will be the same, 21451, and then the last number should indicate which Kreon you're actually getting. So I have 21451, and then the 0 here. I also have 51 dash, if you want to count dash, 1. There's 2, there's 7, 8, and 9. And that should make up all 6. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through these together, and we're going to have a look at the Kreons. Now, Spot really hasn't picked up a lot of Kre-os. Some people love Kre-os. I personally don't. Okay, sign me up for these guys here. The Kreons themselves, the little Kreon characters, are cool enough. But the Kre-o build sets, I just don't buy into. Certainly, you can make transformable building sets, if you will. I think it's a bit of a cop-out that we have to dismantle and then fully put together, once again, 2 modes. I kind of think that's a bit of a cop-out. On the front, you can see the characters here. Let's flip this around on the back. The characters that make up this series. We've got Spinster, Galvatron, Sunstorm, Waspinator, Pinnock, and Crank Start. Oh, also indicated product does not convert. Don't get your hopes up, my friend. It ain't happening. Kre-o comes to us from the good folks at Hasbro. You can also go to Kreo.com if you want to see certainly the Kreons here and other things from Hasbro. Let's get this opened up. I don't know how long of a review this is going to be, but let's get this opened up. Let's have a look at the individual Kreons. Just move my lighting a little bit here so I can get everything's just fine, just peachy keen. For starters, let's pull out the pamphlet. The first Kreon that we were able to get is Crank Start. So Crank Start would be -0 or just standalone 0. Inside, you have the instructions on how to build said Kreon. Just my lighting in. I don't know why. For some reason my lighting is off today. It's just off. It's having one of those fussy, I don't want to get along today, just leave me alone moments. I'm sorry, lighting. We all have jobs to do. You know your place. The camera here knows what it needs to do. We need to bring this together. You can see, though, the instructions, so I would say hold on to these for sure. The instructions on how to build the Kreon, the instructions on how to build the alt mode. Having said that, I'm just going to move these back, dump out the first bit of goodies, the only bit of goodies. There's old Red. She's going to be joining us in this review. What? Yes, Red is a female. I know there is some ongoing debate between at least 4 of you. She is actually a female. How you can get a male and female knife, I still don't know, but that's what she told me when she was applying for this job. I don't know if I'm actually going to do this with every single Kreon, but we'll build the first one and we'll gauge how long, first of all, it took Spot to put together, and then we'll go from there. How's that sound? For starters, you have the basic Kreon body, the lower torso with legs. We'll put the upper torso on. And, this one was already on. I don't know what it was doing there. Apparently it already knew what was going on. It just decided to start without everybody else. A bit rude if you ask me, but and we're going to take this piece here. I'm going to slap that piece over top, which is a bit of a shame because you're covering this really, really nice torso. I don't know why you have to cover over top of it. Don't hide what you are. Embrace it. That's my little bit of advice I can make. Embrace. We're going to slap this clear piece over top, like so. Like that. And what else are we going to do? Oh, we're going to snap some tires on. You need the tires after all. Going to put a tire on that side. Anyone want to guess where the other tire goes? That's right, Billy. The tire's going to go on this side. Like so. From there, these are a little loose. But from there, what we're going to do is we're going to put the head on. Get the head on. Oh, Spot's already knowing this is going to take a long time, so I might have to just do these. I might have to edit out some crucial, well, non-crucial moments of the review here. And I guess the only other thing we can do is we put the little blaster in his hand. Whoa, sorry. I think I was out of camera there for a second. I was daydreaming about watermelons and butterflies and stuff like that. I wasn't even paying attention. There you have a pretty neat looking robot. I like that. I don't even think he needs this front piece. I guess that's his cockpit. Crank start. Not bad, not bad. So, sadly, this is the part where we have to part ways with the robot pieces. So now what we're going to have to do is we're going to take this off. Take off the head. Sorry, head, I know you were getting rather attached to your body. Going to take that off. And take the torso off. I'm going to see if I can take this top shell off. This seems, oh, there we go. And we'll take that off. We'll take this off. Take the blaster out. Okay, so now you have your torso piece. We're going to swing these forward. Swing these forward. And oh, we have to rotate the arms. Spot's not just guessing, by the way. I'm actually looking at the instructions here. Now we're going to take the tires. Actually, you know what? We won't do that. We won't do that just yet. I'm going to take this torso piece, the little armor, I guess you want to call it. We're going to flip that around. So now it's going to go that way. And while we're holding it, we're going to take the legs and snap those into place, like so. Take the tires off. Take the tires off. Oh, sorry. No, tires can stay on. Spot's getting a little ahead of himself. Tire can stay on, tire can stay on. We're now going to add tires. That will allow 4 wheels. The car will drive much easier with 4 wheels. Bring these arms a little closer together. There we go. And then we're going to snap the head back on, which apparently is upside down now. I had no idea. And we're going to put this piece on, upside down. And let's see here. This piece will go on, but we're actually going to rotate that up, like so. So I guess these arms go a bit up on an angle. And we're going to rotate this. So I guess these are some sort of smokestacks, or maybe they're just, I don't know. I have no idea. Let's put this on though. Let's put on the, I guess this is where the people would sit if there were people driving in this car. Like so. That goes like that. And then lastly, we're going to snap that piece on like so. And we're going to put the blaster in the back. Just like so. I really like this blaster, the one I keep dropping, by the way. I really like this blaster. It's a nice, clear, kind of translucent purple. I dig that. I dig that quite a bit. And I guess you have a finished alt mode. It leaves something to be desired. You can clearly see that the robot mode, I think, was the real draw of this. At least in this guy's case, I think Crank Start looks a little bit better probably in robot mode than he did as this. Maybe a dune buggy, some sort of armored dune buggy. Maybe these have to go a little further back, a little forward. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not spectacular by any stretch of the imagination. 9 minutes in, I think Spot's realizing he's going to have to edit some of this. So there's Crank Start. Crank Start. I'm going to put him down. Rosalita, I know, she's been complaining lately I'm not doing nearly enough blind bag reviews. Her collection is not growing at the speed that she was hoping it was going to grow. Let's open up the next one. The next one, by the way, is 9. And we got ourselves Sunstorm. Sunstorm. There's the bag of pieces. Get the pieces cut open once again by Old Red, my trusty knife. And there are the pieces right here. And with a little bit of building, we're going to get ourselves Sunstorm. Here we have Sunstorm in robot mode. We'll zoom into him. He's got a really neat face on him. I like the face. There's really not a lot on him. There's really not a lot of personality going on with him. He's got Decepticon logo on the back there. Some printing going on the front. Not really a lot of detail in the fact that all the detail on his torso is just really black. There's no color, there's no real anything to it. But I do like his face. And I also do like this helmet that ends up becoming his whole entire head. All around looks really, really good. He also does come with some sort of, I don't really even know what you would call it. He's got some sort of dual blaster kind of, I don't know. I really don't know. He has this though, which I would imagine serves more purpose in his alt mode than it does in the robot mode. Oh, and by the way, in the articulation field, the rotation, he has rotation in the head, left and right. This would be, by this way, the same on all the Kreons. His arms are on a really nice ball joint, something that some of the other building sets, their figures actually don't have. So the arms rotate up, back and forth, out. Rotation in the hand, he has a rotation in the waist, and the legs go out, back and forth. There you have Sunstorm. I don't know which I prefer more in his robot mode. I think I almost prefer Crank Start so far. I mean, I really dig the way he looks in robot mode. Yeah, let's dismantle Firestorm here. And, oh sorry, Sunstorm, excuse me. Let's get him taken apart. Let's put him in his alt mode. And just like that, we've got Sunstorm here in his alt mode. You know, it looks better than Crank Start, I will say that. Sure, it's really just Sunstorm upside down, and then you just slap some extra pieces on top of him. It also does help if Spot has this the right way. I'm supposed to go like that, Spot. It's not bad. If you kind of look from a distance and squint, sure, it looks like a jet. I mean, the wings really, without the wings, it would just look like he's upside down. Not the greatest of alt modes. I think Hasbro has tried to give us 2 different modes, maybe to something that didn't really need a second mode. Maybe it could have just been fine as the standalone robots. This kind of seems like it's just better, but not really by a lot. And there you have Sunstorm. So we're going to put him to the side. And moving along here, let's have a look at 214511, which I really should have done right after 0. Pull this out, and we've got ourselves Scorponok, which if anybody is taking a running tally, so far Spot's doing pretty good for having no duplicates. And I don't imagine I would be, being that all the numbers are distinct from one another. Let's dump the contents out. And there you have the contents of Scorponok. Let's get the knife in going on once again. Get this opened up. Scorponok certainly has a lot more pieces going for him than I would say some of the other Kreons. Yeah, so let's just get him put together into his robot mode. And there you have Scorponok in his robot mode. This one is nice. I like this one quite a bit. I had a few problems where certain parts, like this one arm, not so much this one arm, but this one piece right here, you can see that there's some stress marks that are developing. This one arm, this one piece here went on this side pretty easily enough. This one didn't. This one I had a tough time actually getting on. Also, these little side pieces here. This one is extremely loose. This one's not bad. This one, as you can see, isn't moving too bad. But this one right here, a lot of problems. I really like the face. Really like the addition of these extra claws. These claw hands. Gives them. They're a lot longer, obviously, than other Kreon hands as well. And on the back, he's got an articulated tail. You can bend it like so. I really like Crank Start, but I think I really like Scorponok. Now, whether this one, I don't know. This one might be a little bit better. I like him though. I do like him. Although let's see how good he looks in his alt mode. And what you get is something that looks like this. You know, this one's not bad. I expected this one to be a little worse than what it is. At least some effort was made. It does look like it's supposed to be a scorpion. He's still got the pincers on the front. He's still got the opposable tail on the back there. Little legs. The legs maybe a little too short. They had incorporated those somehow. Sadly, the one thing that's missing on the back of his alt mode, or the inclusion of, they did not use his legs at all. So his legs are just this extra piece. I suppose you could probably incorporate them somewhere in here, but there you go. Yeah, alt mode on Scorponok isn't terrible. It's if I bring in poor guy, I hate picking on this guy, but if you bring in Crank Start, I think Crank Start's a really poor excuse for an alt mode. At least Scorponok looks like he's doing something. He's at least being successful to some degree. So there you have Scorponok in his alt mode. Moving him aside, let's grab two. Spy is doing these completely out of sequence. And in this one, actually, we've got Waspinator. There's his instructions again on how to build the two different modes. Dump out the contents. Once again, knife. Hello, knife. Open this up. Dump out the pieces. And much like Scorponok, Waspinator seems to have a substantial amount of different pieces. So we're just going to put this together and we'll have Waspinator in his robot mode. He's not bad, which again is, I guess, my overall thoughts of this line as a whole. They're not bad. Some of them look better in one mode than the other. Waspinator is a little in between in the fact that I don't know how his alt mode's going to look, but his robot mode's a little weak. Just a little bit weak. His face is good. We'll zoom into his face. And he's got this really devilish look on his face, if you can call it a face. His mask, his helmet, kind of covers the majority of his eyes, though. And from the looks of it, it doesn't look like his alt mode actually uses those eyes either. The other thing that kind of throws me for a loop is the fact that his abdomen is nowhere on the actual robot mode. Like, I'm surprised they didn't find a way to incorporate it kind of like this. Maybe if they had put an extra piece or something like that there. But it's not. It's completely omitted from it. It will only serve its purpose when it gets it into, when you get the Kreon into his alt mode, which is very, very strange. On my standings, though, on the robot mode, it could have been a lot worse, I guess, but it's definitely not my favorite. You know, it's not my favorite at all. But what we are going to do, I'm just going to take this apart, put it together, and we'll have a look at his alt mode, which is an even more ridiculous, so ridiculous Spot dropped it, an even more ridiculous Wasp mode. I don't even know what they were doing here. Just kind of looks like a bit of a mess. There's his face, by the way. Hello. Oh, it's over there. He's kind of got the same thing going for him that Scorponok had going for him, but at least Scorponok was trying. at least he gave it the college try. This guy, don't really know what's all going on with Waspinator, but it's a bit of a mess. It's a bit of a mess. Speaking of messes, Spot's making a huge mess. You can't see it, but there's actually debris everywhere. Waspinator, though, not really a fan. It's pretty weak. Pretty weak indeed. Moving along, we got 2 bags left. 2 bags full. Let's open this one up. This one is 7. Oh, by the way, Waspinator, I know someone's going to tell me down below, Waspinator did also come with a gun. It's right there, as you can see. Moving along to 7. 7, we've got Spinister. And we'll dump the contents out. So let me let Spot just give you his current update on his views of these Kreons. You know, I think if Hasbro had just come to the realization that people were more interested, first of all, in the Kreons than the actual build sets, and just focused all their attention on that, I think they probably would have done really, really well with the line. Even having alt modes, I don't even think is needed. You could have easily just kept them in their robot modes, and I think everybody would have still picked them up. If you could have blind bag these, I'm not going to go on too much of a rant, but if you can just blind bag these and simply just have, you know, Optimus Prime and Bumblebee and, you know, Megatron, and just have that, people would be buying them. The need to have these as alt modes just doesn't make any sense to me. There, that was my opinion. We have another similar yet different pile of debris. We're just going to put this together and we'll have Spinister in his robot mode, which will look like that. Spinister is a really neat looking Kreon. I would almost even, I don't know. I did really like Crank Start. This one really is really nice. I think the one common thing I'm finding, though, is it's a shame that they cover this armor piece over top of this printing that's on his torso. The helmet that ends up making up his face is really neat. Kind of looks like Sideswipe. I don't think that's right, Sideswipe. On the back, he's got his rotors, helicopter blades that going on there. Yeah, this one's really neat. I like this one. Now he's got a couple of accessories. He's got this, which looks to be some sort of huge weapon. That's a huge BA weapon. He also does have a smaller weapon, similar to the same coloring as and translucency as the other Kreons. There you have Spinister. I like the look of the robot, like the name. Let's see how he looks in helicopter mode. Alright, helicopter mode looks pretty good. Sure, there are things we have to overlook. The fact that his legs are right there, his head is upside down, and the fact that his arms are completely visible. But from most angles, actually, the helicopter mode looks pretty good. Blades still rotate. That extra gun, that BA gun that he had, now is the bottom of the helicopter. Yeah, I gotta say, Spinister is probably one of the better of the alt modes. Maybe him and Scorponok so far are right at the top. Alright, so that then brings us, which ends up working out rather well, that brings us to the very last bag. Now this is 5-1, and then this would be 8, so this should be Galvatron. If it isn't, Spot's disappointed that he spent the money on a whole set. And we have Galvatron, right there. Product does not convert, as indicated again down below. We dump these out, and we open these up. I would love to hear what you guys have to think about these Kreons. You guys can let me know down below if you guys have been collecting these, what your overall thoughts of Kreons are. You think it was a wise move for them to make building sets that didn't build, you know, or didn't transform? You know, let me know down below, guys. I'm always interested in hearing what you guys have to say. So, as with the other Kreons, we have a pile of debris. Let's get this transformed and have a look at Galvatron in his robot mode. Galvatron looks pretty good. He does look pretty good. He has this junk in his trunk. I don't know what's going on with the back part here. This whole section really, I guess, would serve more purpose for his alt mode. I'm just going to take it off. Just leave it off. Without his alt, without his extra kibble, he looks good. He looks good. Purple's really bright. It actually, I think it looks a little brighter. It doesn't look as bright in camera as it does in person. In person, it's actually quite a pinkish purple. Yeah, Galvatron looks good. I'm a little worried about how he's going to look in alt mode, though, but we'll take him apart, put him back together. Let's have a look at him in alt mode. Yeah, this one is not as good, not by a long shot. I don't. It kind of just looks like Galvatron is sitting down to eat a sandwich, and then somebody's put a gun on top of his head, a big cannon. It's a little rough, let me tell you. And you know what? I think for me, I don't know how I would have done this. Maybe this could have, I don't know if this could have been rotated somehow. This cannon, I think, should have somehow found a way near the front and not so much at the back. I think that doesn't seem to really work all that well. This one's just a mess. And I don't know if it's on par with Waspinator. Waspinator was just a train wreck. Galvatron, I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, let's get these guys all back to robot mode. Let's stop this silliness. Well, my overall thoughts of this line, the robot modes, in some cases, like here we have Pinnock, some of the robot modes aren't bad. I think of the lot, my favorites are probably Pinnock, maybe Crankshaft, or what was his name? Crankstart, there we go. They're nice, they're pretty decent. I also like Spinister quite a bit as well. Some of the weak ones, definitely, let me find him here. Definitely one of the weak ones is Waspinator. Overall, they're fun for the Kreon end of it. Like, the actual Kreons are really cool. The transformations and then the alt modes are pretty disastrous. I think if Hasbro was to continue doing the Kreons as a blind bag release, personally, I would just suggest just releasing them as the Kreons. You know, just release, you know, the different Kreons like Optimus Prime and ones that maybe came in the build sets that maybe the collectors out there maybe never got a chance to pick up. And then, you know, you can collect them that way. I think there's serious money with the actual Kreons. The transformation gimmick was something, or the alt mode gimmick for these guys, I think is something that really wasn't necessary. Would I recommend these? Sure. If you like Transformers and, you know, maybe you've been collecting Kreons, these are nice on a display, like as a display piece. The alt modes, though, certainly leave something to be desired. There you go, guys. A very long review. Today's spot was having a look at the Hasbro Kre-o Kreons. Not bad. Really didn't need an alt mode, though. Thanks for watching, guys. Certainly stick around. More collectible spots are definitely heading your way. And I'll see you guys next time.